This is Would Evie Drive It, a tiny little show on our channel where we let Evie judge the cars.
Would I drive an Audi SQ5 Sportback?
Hell if I know. But first, information explosion.
In the information explosion, I was really surprised to see that this had the same city mileage as my big old Bronco.
Does it?
18.
Really?
Yes.
That is merely one of many interesting facts we will explore throughout this video.
So let's start with emotion factor.
Sweetie, are you moved by the style of the Audi SQ5 Sportback?
I moved to make more money because it is fancy in here.
Oh, yeah. So this is one of the surprises about doing this series is that we started thinking it'd be small, quirky, inexpensive cars. But as it turns out, Evie has fancy tastes. Does the style work for you either inside or out?
So it doesn't have a lot of flair on the exterior. I'm tired of saying elegant, so I'm going to call it dandy-ish and sporty.
We should take a moment to clarify what a Sportback is. So this is basically an Audi Q5, which is one of their smaller SUV offerings, but it's the Sportback version, which means it has more of a sloping roofline. They got rid of the roof rails, and it has the standard S-line exterior package. So the entire thing is just a little bit sportier.
I really like the grille on this one as compared to the standard. It looks like fancy fishnets.
Like, you have good taste, but then your points of reference are all like, well, I'm lingering on the thought of fishnets. Can you expand on the dandy-ishness qualities of the SQ5 Sportback?
The way the climate control functions is a big part of it. There's knurled knobs, elegant clicks. The way when you place your finger over it, the icons subtly change, just to show you that they put extra money in here where they didn't have to.
Yeah, it's like simple layout, and then it's like, oh, you're touching me? Let me give you more information. How do you like the driving experience?
It gets really fast, but it doesn't feel too harsh on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we did car to car and I was trying to drive at a brisk pace, I realized it might be too much car for me.
There's a lot of power there. It is a quick car. In fact, this will do 0 to 60 in about 4.7 seconds, which is quicker than any car you've ever owned.
And the way it rides so smoothly and is not jarring means that I keep getting up to a rapid pace without realizing it.
You're not getting the physical cues that you're driving fast.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually had that exact same experience driving this on the freeway.
Wow.
I literally thought that there's no way the speedometer could be correct.
Wow.
So I pulled out my phone, my ForeFlight app, the one that I use for flying the helicopter, and checked my ground speed, and it was within 2 miles per hour.
That's really interesting that you had the same experience.
SQ5, deceptively fast. One of the things helping the SQ5 ride and handle so well are standard adaptive dampers, and then this one also has a package that adds an air suspension so you can raise and lower the vehicle, and it also adds a sport differential and red brake calipers, though I don't believe they are functionally different, but they are red.
The brakes felt firm enough, like I didn't feel like I needed an upgrade on those.
Yeah, you just needed them to be red. That's the only thing missing. What about visibility?
You know how you were saying it's a Sportback?
Mm-hmm.
That sloping roof line?
Mm-hmm.
The visibility is not great out of this thing. There's a thick pillar here. I can't see out that quarter window in the... Is that a quarter window?
It's a quarter window, though I would say that if we did not have a child seat back there, you'd probably be able to use that.
Okay.
But with a kid in the back, that does make things a little bit more complicated. But isn't that always the case? But would that visibility dissuade you from driving an SQ5?
I think its other finer qualities would override that.
So overall, are you feeling an emotion?
I hate this question.
That's the entire point of the segment, sweetie.
I know. I am feeling an emotion. I'm feeling a little outclassed by the Audi.
Hey, sweetie, you deserve to be here as much as anybody does. Okay, so we have an emotion factor.
But is it family friendly?
Let's start off with passenger space. What do you think? Is this an adequate amount of space?
I think so, but I haven't seen you get behind yourself in the back seat.
Well, I took my long, sexy torso and threw it in the back seat because I thought maybe that Sportback roofline would be problematic. It is not. I fit just fine. And I'll say, sitting behind a sweetie seat, there was a lot of leg room. But I think it would be a perfectly acceptable place for me to sit, for extended periods of time, as long as I'm in one of the outboard positions.
So bring your lanky teenagers.
Lanky teens, welcome. By the way, I'm just going to quickly note that you were driving more quickly through this mountain road of ours than you normally would.
And I had no idea.
Yeah, deceptively fast. One other interesting element about the second row seats is how they are divided.
How is it interesting?
Which is 40, 20, 40. So you can fold down the middle position if you want to have a long pass through, or if you have two cantankerous children, you can fold that down as a demilitarized zone between angry children. And then behind the seats, there's 24.7 cubic feet of space. What do you think? Is that like enough space to work with for our family?
For us, for sure. Our girl is too big for a stroller. We just don't carry that much gear.
And I think even if you had two kids, you could probably make it work, assuming they're not in the exact same phase of life. But yeah, I think it's a respectable amount of cargo space, again, considering the Sportback. What about getting a car seat installed?
Oh, super easy. It has the kind of latch points that are not super attractive if you don't have kids. They're just a piece of plastic that you pull off, but it leaves the latch points really exposed, easy install.
The only downside is that when you take those off, when you have a child seat back there, you have to put them somewhere.
Yes.
And wherever you put them, you will eventually lose them.
Or infuriatingly, one. You'll only find one.
Uh-huh. On a safety note, the NHTSA has only rated the rollover safety aspects of the Audi SQ5 Sportback, and they gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. But in the SQ5's favor, it has a full suite of active driver assist, lane keeping assist, automatic emergency braking, blind spot warning, that kind of stuff.
Which you might need because it's deceptively fast.
So what do we think? Is the Audi SQ5 Sportback family friendly?
Family friendly.
Yeah, family friendly. Deceptively family friendly. All right, we've achieved family friendliness.
But is it mountain friendly?
As rugged mountain folks, we live a rugged life, and we need a vehicle that's as rugged as we are. I meant to say rugged a lot there. One of the advantages that the SQ5 has for mountain friendliness is that all-wheel drive comes standard.
Woohoo!
One of the things against mountain friendliness for the SQ5 Sportback is that it comes with standard 19-inch tires, and we're riding on optional 20-inch tires. You know, the more wheel you have, the less sidewall, maybe the less accommodating it is when you're driving off-road. Working in favor of the SQ5's mountain friendliness is the fact that this one has the adaptive suspension with the air suspension option, which means that if I were to put this over here into all-road mode, we get a little bit of extra height. In fact, you can see it says raise right here. We're getting a little bit of extra height.
And you can do that while I'm driving?
Sure can. Can you feel us getting higher?
Not really, but I'd probably notice it if there was one of those giant pine cones in the road.
That's true.
Yeah, so it sounds like it'd be great for winter driving, which was my primary concern when we began doing this series. But now that we're interested in finding something that can go off-road, maybe it wouldn't be a good choice for us specifically.
As indicated by the fact that we bought a Bronco. Yeah, so what do we think? Mountain friendly?
Mountain friendly.
I love the mountain. Not for our needs in particular, but yes, mountain friendly. And now it's time for me to be blinded by the sun and for my favorite segment,
Sweetie Potpourri.
Digging into the potpourri, I still can't see, but let's talk about infotainment. There's a standard 10.1-inch screen with standard wireless Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto. What do you think of the infotainment interface?
It looks elegant and
Dandy-ish.
And the icons have distinct colors, which helps me see out of the corner of my eye when I'm pushing. It's a touchscreen, which I love. I like the infotainment. One thing I don't like is that the volume knob is so tiny. The first day we got in, the volume was up super loud and I couldn't figure out how to turn it down. You can't turn it down unless the track is actively playing. So if you have someone who likes to listen to music loudly and somebody who does not, who is sensitive to sound, it's a poor combination.
Oh, because like when it starts, there's no way to pre-adjust the
Lower
volume.
it, yeah.
Oh, sorry if I made your eardrums bleed, sweetie. When we were driving the Volkswagen Taos, and if you'd like to see that video, click here, one of the things you really liked was the digital gauge cluster, and that is an optional feature here, more than 12 inches of digital gauge cluster. Sweetie, do you love the Audi virtual cockpit?
Yeah, the digital gauge cluster looks great. There's a couple of different easily customizable modes. It's awesome. So normally I feel like high-end vehicles like this are too smart for me, but I was really grateful it has the feature where it will tell you if you've left your mobile device in the car as you exit.
I can't think of a feature more suited to you, a woman who...
Specifically?
You're using like the track your phone. I'm not joking. Like the watch, Apple Watch, will tell you where your phone is, and she's used it in the vehicle.
I don't know if I'm sitting on it, if I left it in the back seat, if it's in my backpack. That's just a quick way to solve things, sweetie.
Audi, thank you for your sweetie phone mode. One thing we didn't mention during the emotion factor was the paint. Quantum gray paint.
Okay, I really like the flat gray paint colors, but there's so many of them.
Yeah, I feel like that trend is cresting, which is unfortunate because of our purchase of a cactus gray Bronco.
Dang.
But yeah, I think it's a pretty cool paint color. And then one of the other things I thought we should mention is the fact that the Napa leather seats are a $1,000 option, which I think for classy Napa leather, that's not an unreasonable sum. And then it's under $1,000 for the Bang & Olufsen audio system, which I think is also a really nice thing, though I do wish that the lower speaker grates were fancier. I want something I can grate my cheese on. Do you carry a block of cheddar with you at all times? Tell us in the comments. Sweetie, can I make a trim recommendation?
You sure can.
Okay. My trim recommendation is to pause and let that super fast Honda Civic go by. And then, if you're buying an SQ5 Sportback, my suggestion would be to go with the base trim and then get the $1,100 convenience package. Here's my logic. That convenience package includes a heated steering wheel and driver's seat memory, which is fine, but it includes the all-precious advanced key, which is basically a smart key access. Because tell me, sweetie, have you gotten so used to the smart key with the Bronco that you would ever possibly go back to pulling a key out of a purse?
I've become really spoiled. It's nice.
It's super nice, yeah. That would be my recommendation. The SQ5 comes well equipped in base form, but you gotta get that smart key, man. Since it seems like you want to buy an Audi SQ5 Sportback, can I perhaps talk you down in price?
For sure.
What if I told you you could get basically the same package, but with less power? So they have a 2-liter turbocharged engine in the just regular Q5 Sportback, minus the S, and that drops power, but it only takes about a second off of the 0 to 60 time, so it's still 5.7 seconds. Still decent power, and the base price is only 48 grand.
I feel like there is almost too much power for me in this thing.
Well, sweetie, sounds like you're ready to get a Q5 Sportback. If only we hadn't already spent all of our money. As far as competitors are concerned, the key ones would be the Mercedes-Benz GLC and the BMW X4, which are basically coupified versions of their smaller SUVs. What I would say is that both BMW and Mercedes offer more powerful versions of their competitors in this segment, but they're also much more expensive. So if you've got the money, you can get the horsepower, but, you know, I don't have a follow-up to that statement.
Those are the facts.
Man. And if you don't mind having a normal roofline, you could also consider the Acura RDX, the Jaguar I-Pace, no, E-Pace, no, I-Pace, F-Pace.
F-Pace.
Oh, their naming convention. And maybe the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, which sounds like a season 5 character on Sopranos. Oh my gosh, you remember that side story with Stelvio?
Oh, it was so sad.
Tragic end. Well, I think we've covered it, but we've got a burning question. Would Evie drive it? Sweetie, yes, no, maybe so. Would you drive an Audi SQ5 Sportback?
So I think it's a really fun driving car and I enjoyed my time in it, but it is too expensive and I can't take it off-road, so no.
No, she would not.
But I can definitely see why you would.
What do you think? Is Evie crazy for denying the Audi SQ5 Sportback? If so, tell us in the comments. If you're curious what we're doing between YouTube videos, you can give me a follow or her a follow over on Instagram. I'm more of an airplane and helicopter guy. She's more of a family person.
And cats.
And cats.
Sorry. You're welcome.
If you liked this video, please hit like. And if you'd like to see more of these kinds of videos, feel free to subscribe. I think we did it, everybody. All that remains is the awkward goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone. Well, that was a show.